Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody. So, did you get what you wanted? If you still celebrate Christmas, I know I've got my Christmas tree, but it's one of them, isn't it? Anyway, you may have seen a little bit of hype about today's podcast over social media, and there's a great reason for that because what you're about to watch and hear is unprecedented, it's historical. It's like all of your Christmas dreams coming together in one. Big claim, big claim, right? But trust me, this is real. So, just to give you a brief background, this is something that I've been part of for over a year, and just listening and watching and seeing what's going on and learning more and more. What you're going to see now is the Honourable Lee Clegg reading out a statement. And then you're going to see yours truly reading out the judgment. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about now? Hopefully, it will become clear. Keep an open mind. We would not be putting this out if it wasn't real. And there is a number of us that are involved in the World Martial Authority, which some of you will already know because I've talked about before. And I've had Lee on my podcast before and some of the other people within the World Martial Authority as well. If you haven't seen those, I highly recommend going and watching those. It seems like too good to be true. Like, oh my God, yeah, we've heard all this for the last 5 years. Trust me, it's true. And when you get to the bit where I'm reading the judgment, then it's a little bit difficult. The language is a little bit difficult. But what I highly, highly, highly recommend you do is go and do your own research. All the document will be up on the screen for you to be able to read as I'm talking. Make some notes, maybe not today, but you can make some notes, come back to this again, and do your own due diligence. Because, guys, we're getting justice and we're getting abundance for all. And that is Merry Christmas, everyone.
I am Honourable Lee Clegg of the World Martial Authority. I head the Global Command, and today I would like to discuss or present the Optala judgment or judicial notice. So a notice has been served upon the Government of the United Kingdom, the Cabinet Office and the police commissioners and anyone who was involved with the operation itself, being Optala. Now, this judicial notice has been served, also indicted and charged everyone who authorized this, put their signatures to it, and those that were complicit or involved with the actual operation itself throughout the United Kingdom. You can find this on our website, which is worldmartialauthority.life. The charges for the misconduct, the misrepresentation, the malicious prosecutions, the harm, loss and injury to every living being or everybody that was affected by this operation, not infected or harmed, lost or injured. There will be further claims to that when people come forward, obviously with their grievances. So right now, the plan ahead is, as we all know, they've received the black and white copy. We hold the color copy, which we will credit in our systems. And through the course of time, possibly February, March, we will actually be paying out the sum of £8,333 a month to every individual over the age of 18. Now, those individuals will receive this monthly payments for the total of 20 years, okay, because the actual charge is £140 trillion. So what we've done, instead of trying to force this out to the public, which is £2 million each for those affected, is to break it down into a sensible format for everybody to obviously be relieved of debts and everything else that they have been suppressed under. during this whole situation, this scenario. This goes for everybody that have lost their businesses, their livelihoods, and so on. There are further payments due to others, and that will come in due course. So right now, they have been served. They've been served the black and white copy. We hold the coloured copy bond. As everybody knows, if they go to a court, they receive a piece of paper that is in black and white. There's nothing that you can actually do with that. The courts keep the colour copy, even though the administrations, and that's what they cash out on. Now, excuse me. So with that being said, we're going to credit this ourselves, and there will be further presentations to actually put forward the means and the ways of opening accounts and to go and receive these monies. So this is in perpetuity. So any child that was affected, because everybody was affected, this goes on in perpetuity from now on. Now, every child that reaches the age of 18 will obviously start the payments. So now they can afford, obviously, get onto the property ladders and to go through their educations and so on. So you're walking into a world that is not pertaining to debt. And this is what the World Marshal Authority is about. It's about the marshals who are there to force or to enforce the discharge and settlement of all debts. This leads back down to 2014, where we actually sued the entire corporate systems globally. As you all may know, the corporate situation under the Permanent Editorial Board, which is your parliament, your so-called court systems, which were dissolved under Corpus Juris 1785, and your banking systems, which are in a perpetual debt. You'll never get out of it. So we've sued those systems. That lawsuit has afforded us to write off those debts, discharge and settle them. So now you're going to walk into this era of prosperity. You are going to be able to afford to remove all of your debts. And, you know, it is a work in progress. The systems are virtually built, and we will be administrating all of this out to the world, not just to the United Kingdom, in the coming months. And I thank you for your time.
This is the indictment served to the architects of Operation Tala, including but not limited to the Cabinet Office, the Home Secretary, the National Police Chiefs Council, the Information Commissioner, the Lady Chief Justice for England and Wales, the Chair of the Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Committee, the Secretary of State for Justice, the Commissioner of Police of the Metropolis. The judgment served via the Aboriginal Consular Court. The conclusion is, after thorough independent investigations conducted by various entities, not just in the United Kingdom but globally, there has been found blatant malfeasance and cover-ups. All services have been approached with factual and undeniable evidence of heinous crimes against the whole population, with the expectation that they would fulfil their obligations to protect the public from harm and investigate. They have all failed in their duties by refusing all evidence, complaints and reports presented to them. Their failure to investigate makes them complicit in these crimes. Globally, the story repeats. Corporate leaders and government officials being entrusted with positions of responsibility to serve and protect their people, preferring instead to play their part in forcing through a harmful agenda to an unsuspecting population, becoming an embarrassment to the office they hold and the uniforms they wear. Resignations are insufficient. The offences which have been committed and are continuing to be committed are imprisonable. All are complicit in committing with intent, genocide and terrorism to control mankind, their citizens and those residing from other nations. The consequences of these actions have led the population towards a nearly total breakdown of trust in any government services, including social, legal and policing services and associated professions, including the Crown. It is ordered Prerogative Vessel Indictment, TALA, received via GLDB 019073 ACC AIT 1-500 Judicial Administrator 12/4/2025 Inspected Vessel DJN Deposited Deposition Inspected. These are all notorious acts that injured the obligee. Are torts now countered via ACC Alt and or ACC AIT Writ UBC UC, so that's Uniform Bonding Codes and Uniform Commercial Codes, Court of Record, Competent Tribunal. This de jure remedy per sovereign promulgated Protocol 1-500 1-501 / Title 8 1A-305, now archived, our final judgments via DJN de jure indictment prerogative writ, as is burden of proof is so. All obligors are liable to the sovereign demandants via ordinaria counted the DJN that was a notorious act that injured obligees. Production of evidence was not necessary per memorandum. Relief is granted. The sovereign demandant at common law have first arrest at common law, also have right to common law lien levy to asset seizure via de jure forfeiture process if so initiated as guarantors. The people indicted are the Cabinet Office, the Home Secretary, the National Police Chiefs Council, the Information Commissioner, the Lady Chief Justice for England and Wales, the Chair of the Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Committee, the Secretary of State for Justice, the Commissioner of Police of the Metropolis. Furthermore, for the violations committed, a total fine of 140 trillion is ordered, which is equivalent to £2 million, Great British pounds, fine made payable to each individual living in the United Kingdom as remedy for these notorious acts. Acceptable means of payment would be all over 18 years of age to receive £8,333 each month by sterling for a period of 240 months, which is 20 years. Those that come of age 18 years from here on in will receive payments from their date of being naturally born, as all are affected. Payment must be made in lawful money. Acceptable means of payment will be gold, silver, land and or asset-backed cash only. No fiat or promissory or LLC legal tender will be accepted. Those injured or any death that has been caused will be dealt with and invoiced for separately as claimants come forward. Failure to pay will result in immediate dissolvement and asset seizure, forfeiture of all departments and all offices. The tortfeasors must compensate via their own means to the public and announcements to be publicly made. Failure to do so, the World Marshal Authority will be tasked to remedy and will take over. No FCA or PRA involvement will be allowed, and all revenue offices and officers will be handed over for review, auditing and corrections as they funded this ordeal. All public services and employees of government, banks, insurers, mayors, police stations, prisons, councils, all under bar associations, revenues, courts, solicitors, defence attorneys, social services, etc., and those complicit in NHS, private and public healthcare, elderly homing facilities, pharmaceutical developers, administrators of testing, vaccinating and military, regulators and those responsible for compliance and complaints channels for all above. Think tanks, private clubs, secret societies, etc. are charged with taking unlawful orders of genocide without standing or without question. All are complicit in this cover-up of this fraud. This invoice is to be paid minimum 20% within 7 working days. Note, this invoice is final and binding. It pertains separately to each individual tortfeasor named above who are without bonds of insurance or assurance. They are LLC debtor that operate and hold no authority to do so. They are without standing and authorize these acts of terrorism on their nations. A separate set of charges will be issued to everyone involved in administrating the vaccinations and those harmed or affected by lockdowns, the COVID, its so-called variants, and forcing mask policies. Unless paid, each charge will hold 1 year's prison sentence for 1 million GBP owed and or all properties and accounts handed over. The list of torts are malicious prosecution, defamation of character, slander, libel, malfeasance, extortion, subornation of perjury, RICO, 18 USC 1961 to 1968, violations of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, breach of trust, terrorism, malfeasance, misconduct in public office, demanding debt in the form of debt notes, i.e. promissory. Total to pay is £480 billion. Ignoring this notice by further threats of enforcement proceedings on the matter will result further torts and international intervention. This is blatant incompetence, ignorance of the law. It is unacceptable. This order is final and irrevocable. See House Joint Resolution 192, 31 USC 5118 D2, Uniform Bonding Codes, page 2. Those that interfere with World Martial Authority will be charged under UC small c, as all are subjected to it. Being paid in, demanding and circulating debt is an arrestable felony which casts you out of commerce as you are operating in an acting capacity, a common law cheat. Great Seal Perseverando Nation, aka America Republic, Alternations, GLDB Reserve Bank and Treasury and Aboriginal Consular Court Insular Tribunal, Competent Court of Record Aboriginal Royal Title UC_C-1 de jure sovereign wish to inform any persons in receipt of this document. See House Joint Resolution 192, 31 USC 5118 D2, Uniform Bonding Codes, page 2, UCC 1930 Geneva Convention, Revocation Romanus Pontifex Motu Proprio, Virgin Codes 1-500 and 8A1-306 and 306. Mandamus Promulgation 13 July 2025. ACC Charter. No state court of any nation shall have subject matter jurisdiction over matters arising under Global Command or WMA, be it federal, state, civil courts, Roman civil courts, shall have no jurisdiction as their rules and procedures, proceedings, processes, civil equals debtor, liable. Only prerogative tribunal supports and secures natural law, normal law, juris peditus. Under Bond 019073, alloidial title, Great Seal Perseverando Nation, aka America Republic, Alternations, GLDB Reserve Bank and Treasury, and Aboriginal Consular Court Insular Tribunal, Competent Court of Record Aboriginal Title UC_C-1 de jure sovereign, wish to inform any persons in receipt of this document, see House Joint Resolution 192, 31 USC 5118 D2, Uniform Bonding Codes, page paid in and circulating debt, which is an arrestable felony which casts you out of commerce as you operate in an acting capacity, a common law cheat. This judgment is final and irrevocable and will be served to all tortfeasors. This judgment will also be uploaded to our website, UC_C1-308, All Liberties Reserved. Signed by Chief Judge Grantor Lamont Durrell Belton and Global Commander Honourable Lee Clegg. I'm Mel Kate, Media Correspondent for Global Command at World Martial Authority.
cold mountain dew, I turned my face away and dreamed about you. Got on a lucky one, came in 18 to 1. I got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas, I love you, baby. I can see a better time when all my dreams come true.